So my intention in sharing with you that I'm about to share with you is not to, create urgency. It's just to give you some information that perhaps could be helpful or useful so you can make decisions that you feel is best. So I don't know if you know this, but as a homesteaded property, this property from a tax perspective was protected from taxes going up like dramatically in a calendar year. And now this is actually a secondary home for you and your family. It's not a primary residence, so it no longer receives those protections. So as a result, the taxes are going to like double, if not triple, because it'll be reassessed at its current value. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then the other thing to consider is the property insured currently?
I believe so. I'm not even sure.
Yeah. So, sometimes, and I don't know if this is true for you, but families are like, who cares if I have insurance? But it's like a very calculated risk, particularly here in California with floods and like all this, with fires and like, earthquakes and whatnot. At the same time, if it is insured, the insurance for a secondary home is much more expensive than than insurance for a primary residence. Were you aware of that?
I wasn't.
Yeah. So now that this is a secondary home, the insurance is also more likely not going to at least double, if not triple. So while I know it seems initially right now like, oh, it's only costing $1,200 a month, at the same time, if the insurance doubles and triples and the taxes do as well, it's actually not $1,200 a month. What it's actually costing is more like $3,000 a month. Have you thought about that?
I haven't thought about that.
Yeah. So usually when families think about that and they can see that, they end up and they recognize simultaneously that they can get it done sooner rather than later, provided that certain criteria are met. They usually decide to do that, right? Because in selling it sooner, they end up saving time, and then that ultimately equates in carrying cost. Does that make sense to you?
That makes sense.
Yeah. And just by you saying that demonstrates that we should get together and discuss the options. May I make a suggestion? Then boom, we go into a closing sequence.
Nice. That totally makes sense. It's another point to selling because, the tax always get reassessed. We don't have Homestead in Cali, but they get reassessed like the same way.
And they go up dramatically.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
Exactly.
And people don't see that. They don't realize that, right? So they're like, they have this like really nonchalant, like, yeah, whatever, it's not a big deal. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I see where you're coming from. Like at the same time, have you considered this? And they're like, what do you mean? And then you tell them and they're like, oh, like I didn't know that. And that could be like legit $1,500 more per month.
Good. Yeah, exactly.
So there's different ways you could go with it. But you see, like the goal is again, so main takeaways for everybody that's on this call. Them saying they don't know is not negative. You need to be neutral to that. If you think it's negative, then it's going to affect your communication with them. Number 2, the goal is for them to talk, right? Ask questions. Right. Number 3, the quality of your questions demonstrates competency. Number 4, you want to position yourself as a guide to help them to solve their problems. I need everybody on this call to understand something. People do not buy your service. They buy the result. That's what they want. They want the result. Right? So you position yourself as a guide to help them to solve their problems. And then, like what we were saying, like if they're not local here, like let's say when you asked and Lewis was like, oh yeah, do you live close to the property? Like I should probably know that based on my data collection and things of that nature. But anyway, like let's say they're like, no, like it's far away. Okay, good. I would say, okay, great. And after I've asked some questions or whatever, well, based on what you've been kind enough to share with me, it really seems as though you're not exactly sure as to which way you're going to go. And that's perfectly fine because I'm here to help, never here talking to do anything. The second thing I'm hearing from you is that the more information you can gather right now in terms of the legal aspect of probate and, how you can proceed sooner rather than later, as well as this tight position of equity and some ancillary services that could be helpful or useful, the better equipped you'll be so you can make the decision that you feel is best when the time is right. So notice, most of you guys are super urgent. You want it to be when? Right when? Now. Right now. But anybody besides me ever been approached by somebody that wants something from you right now?
For sure.
Yeah. How do you usually respond to that?
You repel them.
Yeah. Get away from me. Right? So whether it's sooner or later, you'll be best equipped to make the decision that you feel is best when the time is right. So what I like to do, and then go for like a Zoom appointment. Because keep in mind, like for me anyway, I would do like, I don't know, 50 to 60 of these transactions every year consistently for years, probably 6 or 7 years in a row. I would say at least 50% of these homes, I never saw them in person and I never met the homeowner in person. Because we have this limiting belief in our mind that like, oh, that's how it has to be. But it doesn't. Right? You could do a Zoom appointment, send them the listing agreement via DocuSign, they sign it. Then you send your photographer out to go take the pictures. You call them back. You're like, yep, I've seen the property, which is an accurate truth because I've seen the pictures. And yeah, based on our initial kind of conversation, it seems like that range of X seems to be reasonable. You have the photographer put the lockbox on, you put it on the market, you get an offer, you present it, send them the agreement via DocuSign, they sign it, and I never see the property. And I never meet them in person. The feedback I would give you, Lewis, is here's what I love and want to acknowledge. You're not afraid to call people. Most people are afraid to call. You're not afraid to do it. Like you're like a bull in a china shop. Like, let's go. You're just like knocking people over, right? That's great. The stage that you're at is the exact same stage Mario was at 7 or 8 minutes ago, which he was making calls, but he needed to refine his approach. So that's what I would continue to keep focusing on and working on is the refinement of approach. And then once you do, you'll have the exact same thing happen that happened to him. We had a call. He was super frustrated. He hopped on a group call that we do, and he was having a little adult temper tantrum. I'm not suggesting you're doing that. That's what he was doing. He became a BMW, bitch moan and whine. And I was like, look, dude, anything worth doing well is worth doing poorly before you can learn to do it well. I'm glad that it's hard because if it wasn't hard, everybody would do it and the pay would drop dramatically. So you're getting feedback from the market, and the market is telling you, like I was listening to somebody and it was so good. He was like, yeah, if you're an athlete, or let's say you're in business and people aren't buying what you're doing, it's because you're not that good. We just have we live in a world where like, we want everybody to feel good. So we lie to them. You know, I saw this comedian and it was like, well, why is like, he's coaching soccer. And it's like, well, why is Taylor on the bench? One of the moms asked. The coach looks at her and is like, because Taylor sucks. That's why we have a bench. So I get feedback from the market. The market's telling me like, hey, I need to improve something. The hard part is, listen, I want everybody on this call to really hear me on something. The progress that a man or a woman experiences in their life is directly correlated with the amount of truth that they can withstand. Mario, let me ask you a question. How much truth have you been getting pummeled with over the last 7 or 8 months?
A lot.
And how difficult is it to hear it?
It's not fun always. It's not fun, but
it's never challenging.
Yeah,
I mean, we just had a call yesterday about it because now what's happening for him is he was pounding, calling, not setting any appointments. Calling, not setting any. Okay, good. He was pummeled with truth.
Right.
Then he started to adjust his approach, finally. And lo and behold, what happened? He started setting appointments. Then you know what happened? He wasn't taking them. He was going on them and not taking the listings. And then he hops on a call and he's frustrated. And I said to him, look, I'll bet you $10,000 if you told me and Jose what you're saying on the appointments, that you're doing something's off. Sure enough, what happens? He talks to me, he talks to Jose, we help him to adjust and tinker. Now what happens? He has 5 pendings right now for like $70,000 in commissions. And 3 of them are probates. Or maybe more. I don't know, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Great. But then you know what he says? Hops on a call yesterday. You know what he says to me? And by the way, this is instructive for all you guys because the story of one is the story of all. So he says to me, hey, bro, I'm having a hard time. What's the hard time? Well, I got 5 pendings and all my time is going to servicing the pending. So I'm not doing the prospecting anymore. I said, isn't that interesting? 8 months ago, you were like crying about that you didn't have enough listings. Now the problem is you got too many pendings. But what is it revealing to him? It's revealing to him that his system isn't good. Yeah?
Right. Yeah.
Now, what do we want to do? Exactly what he did on that call. Well, it's hard to find the right people. Yeah? Just like we did with the listings. Just like we did with the setting and appointments. Oh, it's really hard and it's not working and they keep hanging up on me. Blah, blah, blah. No, you need to get better. This is the marketplace revealing to you that your systems aren't good. And that you need to learn some things. You need to learn how to delegate. You need to learn how to have better systems that people follow, right?
Yeah.
Because here's what I know. Now he's figured out how to set the appointments, take the listings. If he can stay in that activity 80% of the time, he'll do 50 deals a year, guys.
You're out to God's ear.
No, but do you it's not it's not even that. It's,
right.
Listen to me. Success in business is scientific. It's A plus B equals C. Like it's not, if you do the things, you will get the outcome. It just maybe not exactly when you want or as quick as you want or as fast as you want, but it will happen. So everybody recognize business problems are internal problems. They just manifest themselves outwardly. So in other words, let's say you have this internal problem where you think you're hot stuff and you're prideful. Okay. Well, you know what'll happen? You'll put in the work, and when you don't get what you want, you'll throw an adult temper tantrum. So it's an internal problem. Let's say you think you're organized and you can get away with, or you think you can get away with not being organized, and my systems don't matter. Well, guess what? You'll end up with a bunch of pendings, and then everything will fall apart. That's an internal thing. So it's just bro, every step of the way. I really do think some people imagine, they hallucinate that like someone like me or Jose came out of the womb speaking the way that we speak and have systems all in place, ready to rock. Like that same journey that you guys are going through, like figuring stuff. You don't think I had that experience? I made $13,000 my first 9 months selling real estate. I know what that's like. Then I started to do deals. Guess what? Didn't have any systems. Dang, got to learn that. Then I got systems, and it's like, well, the systems are only good for 50 deals. If I want to do 100 deals, I need to change the system. Change the system. Great. Got up to 100 deals. Then there was challenges there. New levels, new devils, man. So, guys, stick with the hardest part of the path is once you find it is staying on it. You're in the right place, the right people are in the right stuff. If you ever find yourself wanting to blame something else, stop. It's an internal thing. How are you contributing to it? How are you messing this up? What's the error in judgment? What are you thinking that's not true? All right, team, let's go be great.
Thanks, Aaron.